XRP holders, we have some big news to be going through today, so I want to keep you guys fully up to date with everything that is going on. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications because today is a big video. But please remember that nothing in my videos is ever financial advice. So jumping straight into this, we see yesterday Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says the whole crypto sector will go mainstream, and this could have some massive effect on XRP. So let's hear what he had to say.
How do you see the potential for more favorable regulations coming on them and potential risks from that for the system?
So we went through a wave of failures and fraud and things like that were the headlines for a couple of years. And I think what you see now is, and during that period, by the way, we worked with Congress to try to get a framework, a legal framework for stable coins, which would have been a nice place to start. We were not successful. I think that the climate is changing and you're moving into sort of more mainstreaming of that whole sector. So Congress is again looking at both the Senate and the House are looking at a legal framework for stable coins. Depending on what's in it, that's a good idea. We need that. There isn't one now. And stable coins are a digital product that could actually have fairly wide appeal and should contain consumer protections of the typical sorts and transparency. And that's what the Senate and the House are working on. So that's a positive thing. I also think some of the, we took a pretty conservative, and other bank regulators took an even more conservative perspective on the guidance and rules we imposed on banks. I think there'll be some loosening of that, and I think we'll try to do it in a way that preserves safety and soundness, but that permits and fosters appropriate innovation, but that does so in a way that again doesn't put consumers at risk in ways they don't understand or make banks less safe and sound.
Now we've heard that. This sets the stage for something massive for US-based cryptos, right? That's my speculation anyway. Of course, we don't know what will happen for sure, but that's what I'm speculating here. And we can see here, my dream scenario is Swift makes a deal with Ripple where all their banks get to use RippleNet for free, maybe even paying Swift. Fits our XRP strategy perfectly. This is what David Schwartz, the CTO at Ripple, said in 2022, and that might just maybe be unfolding right now as we speak, as we're seeing a massive rumor. Now, right now, this is a rumor. It's speculation. It's not fact. But if it's true, apparently, Swift is reportedly close to finalizing a partnership with Ripple to integrate XRP for global cross-border transactions. Billions in XRP are said to be locked in escrow to serve as liquidity reserves. If confirmed, this could be the catalyst to send XRP soaring. Now, he's saying $10,000. I'm not in the camp that thinks that XRP is going to be going to $10,000, but I think that this could be absolutely massive if it turns out to be true. But what we know for sure is right now, the head of the Federal Reserve is paving the way for cryptocurrency. And we know that the US president is very pro crypto that is based in the US. Now that points towards XRP for me as one of the options. Now, as we speak, the market is a little bit down. It's a little bit sideways. It's a little bit boring. All right. Bitcoin right now, 84,400. And the reason why this is happening is I believe it has a lot to do with the overall markets. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were down 2% for the S&P and 3% for the NASDAQ. So this pulled down the market a little bit, where Bitcoin just yesterday was trying 85,500, the day before trying 86,400 and struggling to break. Now, I believe the reason why we're basically stuck in this channel right here is due to the market being very uncertain. There are a lot of people short and there are a lot of people long. So there is money to be made by the manipulators just bouncing the price around here until we get some big news that can push the price up or push the price down. Now, Bitcoin's effect on the market is very clear. If Bitcoin goes down, the market goes down. If Bitcoin goes up or sideways, we see altcoins generally performing relatively well. And today, we see XRP is, what is it? It's up. what's it doing? Up 0.85 or 82% on the day. Now, this is decent for our trade that we have going here. XRP, we got involved at $1.67, and now it's $2.09. So 75% gain so far. If you guys want to do something similar, you can do so over on Blowfin. There is a link down there in the description. No KYC, no VPN, no personal details. You can trade from anywhere in the world. You can use the spot market, the futures market, and also the copy trading option here. So if we go to my copy trading account, so far I've been doing a test and we have made $2,180 in this test, and I am copy trading Quantoshi. If you want to learn more about that, I will leave the links down there in the description. So far it's playing out well, so you guys can check it out. I don't know what will happen next. I'm doing this with my own money. I put $10,000 into this, but if you guys just want to trade on the futures market, for example, you can access XRP here on the futures market very easily. You can see right here, in fact, it's up 2% now on the day, moving as we're filming this video. So if you guys do want to trade and you want to do something similar to what I'm doing, there is a link to Blowfin down there in the description. Now, we also have Da Vinci, the guy who called Bitcoin at $1, also saying that XRP could go to $24 in 2025. Let's hear what you had to say.
XRP, will it go to that $24 that I once talked about? Possibly. I'm not saying that it would, but there's a good chance. Why? Because, there is a lot of people in the US government that are pushing XRP. And so we could see, possibly, XRP do something crazy. Now, do I suggest you invest in XRP? No, because it is a banker coin. Do you want to continue to support the banking system that gets free money on your behalf or steals from you whenever they screw up? No. So why buy XRP? Sell your XRP, buy Bitcoin. In the long run, it'll do better anyways.
So very interesting stuff, guys. And overall, we do have some progress happening, right? Big progress, according to President Trump. He is trying to make a trade deal with Japan after meeting Japanese officials. On the other side of the coin, we have China importing record amounts of Canadian oil after cutting US prices by 90% amid a trade war. Now, all of this resulted in $1.5 trillion being wiped out from the stock market, which is what we saw over here. But things are not looking as bad as they were last week. Now, in that same speech, Jerome Powell has also come out and said the tariffs, Trump's tariffs, are larger than anticipated, and they may put the central bank in a challenging situation not seen in decades. So basically, in the short term, this could mean Treasury yields are likely to rise due to the market reaction to Powell's statements, as seen in the recent bond sell-off. The Fed might not hike the federal funds rate immediately, but could intervene to stabilize markets if yields spike too quickly. In the medium term, if fiscal policy doesn't adjust, sustained high deficits will keep upward pressure on the yields, and inflation from tariffs could force the Fed to pause rate cuts or even hike rates, pushing borrowing costs higher across the board. Without corrective financial measures, the risk of a debt crisis grows and potentially leading to a much higher interest rates as markets lose confidence in the US debt stability. So higher interest rates are not good for our risk on assets like the stock market, in turn affecting Bitcoin, and then in turn affecting our altcoins like XRP. So what I want to see happen in this market is stability in the overall stock markets that can spill over to Bitcoin, and maybe we one day soon regain around the $100,000 region, and then that would give us hopeful space for XRP to start to grow. I do think that everything will rise at a very similar time. As you know, I don't think XRP is going to $10,000, $1,000, $100 anytime soon, but I do think that there is definitely upside potential. That is why I'm trading in the short term here, and also I have my spot bags waiting for a hopeful moon mission to come soon. So with that said, guys, very exciting time for cryptocurrency in general. Maybe this is a great opportunity to at least be researching, paying attention, and potentially bolstering your positions in what you actually believe in. Now, if you want a place to trade, like I said, you got the futures market and the spot market here over on Blowfin, a very good exchange. I've been trading on there for a while, and things work really, really smoothly. One of the best exchanges I've personally used. So if you do want to check it out, you want to potentially copy try some copy trading or anything, you can go out and do your own research, but all of the links are down there in the description. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I am trying to build this channel up, so if there's anything you want me to talk about specifically, let me know down there in the comment section. If you do have any questions around XRP or your thoughts and opinions, I do want to hear from you guys, so please let me know, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.